Greetings gamers, welcome to part number 25 of my Let's Play Fire Emblem 4 Genealogy of the Holy War. And in today's episode I am one step closer to defeating the Orga Hill bandits, Duval, and seizing this castle. I think it's fine if I were to do this, yeah. Only doing 50, well actually that's not great. Depending on what happens here. Alright, so he dodged. That was good. I think I'm going to actually have Sigurd here attack and defeat this guy. It might seem kind of irrelevant, but I'm just going to do it because of the fact that Sigurd needs the KOs on the Brave Sword more than Azel needs the experience points right now, especially because Azel can finally promote, which is going to be fantastic, to say the least. I think I want Alec to visit this village, so that's exactly what I'll do here.
Ugh, I can't stand people like you who've nothing better to do than start more wars. Why are you even here? We've absolutely nothing to do with Augustria or Granvale. Look, if you've really got to fight, take it somewhere else, you thoughtless sod.
I'll appreciate the 4,000 gold, and I'll continue to pretend that you weren't just mocking me in my thoughtlessness. Oh well, what can you do? Now, I have so many units to move and get over here. I think I'm going to have to use the Brave Axe on one of you yahoos. He has an 18% chance to miss one of these hits, and I hope he doesn't. He did not, which is great. Typically, I don't get to use Lex for this section of the stage, but I decided to, like, ferry these units over here as fast as I possibly could. Quan is going to go ahead and attack with the J-Bowl. I'm actually going to turn on animations for this just to show it off. Alright. And a strike, and he's down. He would have actually died even if he had like 10, 15 more health, and he was at full health. Which is great. The holy weapons are incredibly powerful. I dare not say that they're overpowered, because I think that this game was accurately and correctly balanced for holy weapons in mind. A lot of people don't understand this. If the game is balanced with it in mind, the issue is that when you take it out, you're unbalancing the game. Regardless of how silly that might sound. Alright, so I only have 2 units left to fight. I'll strike you, and then I think I'm going to attack the other little bandit here with Bridget and call it a day. I'm pretty sure that the Myrmidon is going to continue to attack Bridget, and then with that in mind, I'm just going to finish him off with Teal 2. Now, the reason why I'm bringing a lot of these units over is because Lewin is going to pair with Teal 2 for a little while, as well as these two have to pair. I would have liked it if, like, Pegasus was close enough to pair with Azel, but I actually don't think it's going to be possible within the time frame here. Because I still have to kill Duval and move all of my units over here, but there are just not that many units left to do, or movements left to do. So Claude is going to pair with Sylvia. That is my desire. That's another thing that's not happening this chapter whatsoever. I'm only on 30 turns, so it's not like I couldn't spend more turns doing this, but the problem is that I've already spent way too many turns in the last couple of chapters on those chapters. Those chapters are pretty long, and if I want any kind of decent rank, I'm going to have to do that. I'm going to have to basically just call it quits once Dew reaches the Tower of Bragi. which is perfectly fine. It's not something that I'm all too concerned about. But I do have several turns to work with, so first and foremost, I'm going to besiege. The Brave Sword is probably going to be too much for this. Yeah, I'm doing 18 times 4, which is a lot more than the health that he has. So I'm going to have to attack with the Silver Sword here. Only doing 20 times 2. Me men just as useless as always. Damn all y'all. And Sigurd gets the second strike in. And of course, I'm going to equip the Brave Sword here. Besiege Thunder. I'm doing exactly 20 damage with this, which is great. So interesting how that, like, L fire, the L tomes have less hit than the beginning tomes. No, damn it all. Yeah, so I have to send something back to the convoy. I guess I'll send the Thunder. You know, I was thinking about it, and the more that I think about it, the more I think that Sigurd actually is the one who needs the power ring. First and foremost, just to sell it. I actually think that him just selling it for the funds would be pretty good, because it'll allow him to use stuff like the Paragon Band. Azael does not need it right yet, so I think I'm going to have to reset for that. I know that's it's gonna seem kind of silly that I'm doing this, but I think I'm going. All right, so I gave Sigurd the power ring. I gave him the KO for the boss. Again, it seems like a little bit of a waste of time that I'm like mixing up strategies, but I'm not about to tell you that like my gameplay and my strategy around this game is just flawless or perfect or anything of that sort. So with that in mind, I just decided to go ahead with that particular plan because I just think giving gold to somebody who needs it more than another is just a smarter idea. It's sort of like with Tiltu. So Tiltu doesn't get good KOs pretty much for the rest of this game because it's hard to set up KOs for her. It's hard to have her out in the open and dealing with units and whole swaths of armies and stuff like that, especially with her very, very poor and abysmal movement. But let's see. But it can, it's just good to give like Tiltu the KOs on this particular chapter so she can get a few levels, you know, become a little bit more useful. I actually kind of want to send Tiltu back with the warp. I don't think there's anybody over here that needs to be warped back. Eflin's beaten. Midir is not beating the boss of the arena. Lewin could potentially, because he's gotten a couple of levels, I think. Yeah, and Bridget has to go back too. So I actually think that what I'm going to do is spend a couple of turns because he has until here. I'm probably not actually seizing this chapter for like 4 or 5 more turns. So I do have a few turns to work with right now. It's just not a lot. Ideen does have to talk to Bridget first before she can even start warping anybody back. So there is that. Everybody else is pretty much perfect. I think there's nothing else for me to do here. Just a bit more pairing and a bit more work towards the end of this chapter, and then I'm finished. I actually really did not want this guy to go after Azael, but cannot be helped. Oh well. And the reason being is just because I could have given that an extra KO towards the Brave Sword. Good old Azael here has quite a few KOs on Thunder and Fire, and neither of those are going to be any useful, period. Alright, Pegasus. I don't even understand remotely why I'm moving up Sylvia. Those two need to pair as soon as possible. Let's go over here. Can Bridget reach? No, still not. Those two need to continue their quest to pair. Just like these two. And I'm pretty much set here, I think. I think that this is all I can basically do, and it's basically just going to be this for the rest of this particular chapter. So I'm going to go ahead and skip this and just show you the part where Dew gets his wind sword.
Pardon me, but are you not? Yes, it is you, my sister Bridget. I am Ideen, your sister. Surely you recall me. What? How do you know my name? Hang on. You look just like me. Ideen, huh? It sounds kind of familiar, but where from? Bridget, listen well. I am your twin sister. We lost you to pirates years ago, when you were just 5 years old. I've searched for you for years. I never lost hope that we would meet again. This is all so sudden. No, weird feelings like this aren't enough. I need proof. Proof, you say? Here, draw this bow. Huh? Okay, that's a nice bow and all, but what's it got to do with anything? Guess I'll humor you. So I draw it and... Whoa! What's going on? The hell is this? What's this weird feeling boiling within me? Are these... memories? Ah, my heart is on fire. Ideen? Yes, I remember now. You're Ideen, my sister. Oh, thank the gods. You remember. That bow is your birthright, Bridget. It is Yufel, the sacred bow of Jungbi. Legends tell that the exalted weapons of this land, such as this one, can only be wielded by a single heir per generation. For House Jungbi and Yufel, that rightful heir is you, Bridget. I trust this proof will suffice. Oh, Ideen, come here. Let me get a good look at you. How's our father doing? And our brother, Andre, right? I have so much to tell you too, Bridget, my sister.
Yufel obtained. It is a 70 hit, 30 might, 13 weight bow. In Grant's renewal, the weight is actually super unfortunate. It means that regardless of the fact that she's getting 10 speed from this, she's actually -3 overall. So she's really at 18 speed. This is not great, if I'm being honest. What's also not great is that it gives +10 strength. And though that seems like it would be exceptionally crazy because she's already at 30 strength basically, and 60 attack because the Yufel gives 30 might, you would think that that would be great. But it doesn't really help because her combat's not really helped. Something like the Killer Bow is just far and away better than this. It only has 3 weight, so it has the same minus. Now, you would say, oh well, what about the strength? What about the attack? That's great. I'm not saying that's not great. But the reason why the Killer Bow is so much better is because it has 100 hit and grants critical. So when you do critical with this, you're going to be doing relatively more damage than this will do generally. Now, Bridget is pretty adept at using it, so it's not like it's a problem, and I would say that she is the best sniper in this game. Even better than the Gen 2 sniper, whom is her son. But the problem is that it's still just not a good weapon. All in all, it does make Bridget better, and she is the best sniper in the game because of it, and because of her position in Gen 1 and everything of that nature. It's just that she's not fantastic in my humble opinion compared to other such holy weapon units. Otherwise, it is time for me to continue my trek to the Tower of Bragi. I'll see you in a few. Alright, it is time for me to send Azel back. This is going to be my last turn regardless, so either way it doesn't matter. I'm going to actually send Azel back, and I'm going to send Ideen back as long as I can reach. I may not be able to reach. Oh, I can. Cool. And then with that, I'm actually going to... promote both.
My dear, you waited my return home, did you?
Of course, Ideen. As long as you're out there doing gods know what, I'm going to be worried for your safety. Yeah, so Dew is going to be able to reach the Tower of Braggy this turn, which is pretty great. Azel can finally promote, masterfully done, he's turning into a Mage Knight, which is pretty incredible. So the mages in this game that aren't mounted are still good for damage, especially once turning into like a sage or anything of that nature. But the problem is that regardless of what you can do with damage and 1-2 range and this, that, and the other, whatever utility you might have, you are obviously made better by being promoted and having a mount. I meant to say having a mount specifically after promotion. Now, of course, he doesn't have much strength. It's going to be made much better with the acquisition of the power band. That's not really what I'm concerned with so much. I'm going to be getting rid of the thunder and the fire, and he's obviously not keeping the Paragon band on him forever. I'm just going to be using L-Fire right now. I actually don't know that he can get through the arena with just L-Fire. Either way, I could just rebuy the Thunder if I needed. He should be doing more than enough damage so that if he attacks and hits multiple times, he should be fine. No, it's going to be... he's going to have to do multiple attacks in a row, and this guy's not missing. Yeah. He would have to hit 3 times in a row. Oh, 4 times in a row, sorry. And that's not possible because this guy would have to miss. And he missed? He missed? A 90? Can you hit both yours, Azel? That would be very great. Yeah, Doma's not missing another 90. Oh man, that was pretty exceptional. I'm going to go ahead and reset here just to try if he can win this with Thunder, because he will have 7 or 10 more hit, 76 hit total. I'll be right back. Time to promote Ideen and get her to High Priest. High Priestess is what this should say. Now, she is going to be able to do combat, so she'll be able to jump through the arena as well. Problem is I tried multiple combinations of Azel getting through the arena, and he just could not do it, regardless. With the Light Brand, with the Thunder, and with the Hellfire Tome. He just could not do it. And that is kind of the cute little strategy I'm doing here, is that Azel's going to use the Light Brand. I was thinking about this. So you don't fight a lot of mages in the first generation, which is kind of why I like the Wind Sword on him, but you fight a lot of them in the second generation. And in the second generation, it would be better for the Light Brand to have a bunch of KOs on it than it would be for the Wind Sword, as well as for the fact that though I didn't have much of a problem with using the Wind Sword in my previous playthrough off-screen in the first or second generation, especially because its weight is less than Light. Light is 5, whereas Elwind is 2. It was arguably better for that, for the attack speed, right? But the problem is that Azel goes up against a bunch of Wind Mages next particular chapter, alongside several of my other units. And having Weapon Triangle advantage against them, as well as the Thunder and Fire Mages in the final chapter of the first generation, is just great. Plus, there is the bonus of it being good in the second generation. So I think the Light Brand is kind of like the no-brainer pick for what one of the magical swords is the best. Now, I'm not going to be keeping L fire on him because even just basic wind is better. I could give him L wind. I was seriously thinking about that, especially because Lewin doesn't need Elwind. Lewin will be just fine with just wind, especially with the fact that he has such good combat with his own preferential weapon after the fact. Now, I do have to buy a tome with her. I think Thunder is the best. I would give her Fire and then give Claude Thunder because he is just I want to say that he's a better arena unit at times, but I think she's going to be perfectly fine at it herself. And besides that, there is the fact that I don't really care about Claude's combat. He has the Fortify staff. Now, Ideen, of course, has staves as well, so it's not like her combat really matters. It's not like she needs to go through the arena. But I'm not going to use the Valkyrie staff, most likely, and even if I did, I wouldn't repair it. I think 50,000 gold is a waste for a single use of a single staff, regardless of what that staff does. Actually, regardless of what that staff does. Um, Whereas Ideen has a lot of staves that need healing and repairing, I should say. And that has to do with the fact that she is going to pass down all of these staves. Now, Claude does pass down his as well, so it's not like that's of no use either, but there is an important understanding with this, and that is that Ideen's daughter gains all of her staffs upon the very first chapter of the second generation, whereas Claude's son gains his staves several chapters in, which is enough of a point for me to say that Ideen is the better unit concerning dealing with the arena here. All right. That was a pretty hairy fight. Travell almost defeated her. Almost. But he only had 34 hit on her. I find that your units that have a lot of luck, like Ideen, are actually really good in combat when it comes to avoid, because luck does affect your avoid. And I do believe it affects your hit. I believe I figured that out before, or maybe it doesn't. I'm not entirely sure. I looked up some of this stuff, and it's still so difficult to find what it does. It seems that luck in this game does affect your hit, or does affect at least your avoid, I should say. It obviously doesn't affect your dodge. The only thing that prevents criticals in this game is Nihil. She's not likely to beat this fight, regardless of the fact that she has better resistance than some. Yeah. She's not doubling, and she's only doing marginal damage. So, goodbye, Ideen. I don't really care about that, though, because she did get a little bit of gold from this jump into the arena. She's also one of those units that does not need Paragon, so you'll never have that worry. But I can repair all of her staves. I don't have to worry about repairing her Thunder. She's not really going to see, combat. And now it is time to meet up with Dew as he visits Braggy's tower.
Oh, whoa! This is the tower of Braggy's place, isn't it? Got a good thiefy feeling about this one. Let's see what it's got. Nope, nothing over here. Over there, maybe? Oh man, what a boring little dump.
Who are you?
Huh?
State your business.
Maybe if I pretend I can't hear him.
How dare you? defile this sacred ground. Be gone.
Yeah, sorry. Please don't hurt me. What just happened? Hang on. A sword? What's it doing sitting around a place like this? Who cares? Guess I'm getting something out of this after all.
So I am gonna throw it out there. I don't think the wind sword. I don't think the bolt sword is better than the wind sword. I think the bolt sword is actually kind of bad, and I would prefer the wind sword to be on Ethlyn, so that she could pass that down to her son. Whereas it would be just better for Dew to have the bolt sword because he doesn't need the wind sword. There's nothing the wind sword benefits him more than the bolt sword or any other magical sword would. And that's not to say that it's not good, the bolt sword itself. The problem is that it does have 8 weight compared to the 2 weight of the wind sword when attacking at range. For Dew, this doesn't matter. That's my point. Is like he's never going to double before he promotes. So having the bolt sword is perfectly fine for him because he just wants to strike an opponent from range regardless. All right, now it is time to seize Orga Hill. Good, we've subdued the pirate castle. Oify, would you please gather our troops here? Now that this is all over, I'd like to ensure that everyone's all right.
At once, sire.
Is the army ready? Good. All units move in. Apprehend the traitor Sigurd and his cohorts. Seize these vile allies of Byron, accomplices to the murder of Kurth, and his bid to take over the kingdom. It is the will of His Majesty. No mercy for your enemies of the state.
Oh, Langbolt, such audacity.
To think he personally put an end to that miserable prince and nearly killed Byron for putting up a fight.
I've never seen such a bold ploy, and with Arvis using His Majesty's trust, it all worked flawlessly. Convincing the king of anything is hardly a challenge, but to succeed with a tale of this scale takes quite the storyteller. And here we are, with the entirety of House Chalfie framed for the crime. Our victory is all but assured. The throne of Granville shall be mine, one way or another. I'll leave no pest who dares interfere with me alive.
What in the blazes is this? I'm a traitor now, and Granville Legion now awaits at our doorstep to arrest me?
Sire, and to think, the war here was over at long last, and you were about to go and search for Deidre.
How could His Majesty have fallen for Reptor's lies? How could he possibly believe that my father of all people would kill Prince Kurth? If only Father Claude had gotten back to the capital before they struck. Why? Why is this happening? I fought a pointless war. I let Eldigan die, and now this? What have I been fighting for all along?
Sire. Lord Sigurd, I presume? I am Manya, a knight in the service of Celeste. Queen Rana bade me my corpse and I to come and retrieve you. We invite you and your subordinates to retreat with us to Celeste until your good name has been cleared in Granville.
Queen Rana of Celeste, you say? Why is Celeste willing to give aid to an alleged traitor like me?
Please, sir, time is of the essence. The Granville assault is sure to begin at any moment now. My Pegasus Knights will escort you across the sea to safety in Celeste.
Save progress. This is incredible! Flyer utility actually coming into effect in this game. Too bad it's not for me! The unthinkable has come to pass. Sigurd is now a traitor in the eyes of his beloved Granville. In desperation, his army flees to find refuge in the northern kingdom of Celeste. Celeste was founded by the Wind Crusader Ced. It lies under the watchful guard of the valiant Pegasus Knights and Wind Mages. And so, for over a century since its foundation, Celeste has maintained itself as a neutral nation and resisted all invaders. However, ever since the death of its king several years ago, the royal family has been plagued with strife over its inheritance, and shades of war creep over the peaceful land. The late king and his wife, Queen Rana, had a single son, Prince Lewin. The king's greedy younger brother, Duke Dakar, objects to Lewin being heir to the throne, and has confined himself to Zaxxon Castle in protest. As if acting in concert, the king's youngest brother, Duke Mias, has set to work raising an army for himself at Thove Castle. Out of disgust at his uncles, Prince Lewin left Celeste to travel the world years ago. Is there no end to the Duke's avarice? Their lust for power will condemn Celeste, a beautiful and majestic land, to the searing ravages of a brutal war. Chapter 4: Dance in the Skies. Celeste. Two Pegasus Knights, probably two of which who rescued all of my army and brought me over to here. Flying to my base at Saline.
Sire, Queen Rana is here to see you.
Queen Rana?
Good evening, Lord Sigurd. Are you comfortably settled into Saline yet? Is there anything at all that you need?
As much as I appreciate the offer, we're fine. I can't thank you enough for your hospitality, Your Highness.
I know Saline is perhaps too small to house all of you adequately, and I'm sorry, but please bear with me for a while longer. I'm doing all I can to hasten your liberty. I sent letter after letter to Valhalla to advocate for your innocence. As of yet, however, I've still heard nothing at all from King Asmir.
This has to be Reptar's doing. First he betrays my father, and now he's stopping all of your letters. He must be.
Calm yourself, Lord Sigurd. I know well the pain you're feeling, but you cannot let your grudges rule you. Your anger will not save your father. Hatred will only destroy you from within. I swear to you, I can and I will find a way to set this to rights, but you must be patient.
You're right. I'm sorry, Your Highness. I really appreciate all you've done for me.
It's all right, Lord Sigurd. Oh, before I forget, there actually has been some good news from Granvale of late.
Good news, you say?
A previously unknown daughter of Prince Kurth has been discovered. All of Granvale is rejoicing at the news.
Huh? Is that even possible?
It took King Asmir only a glance to recognize her true heritage. She bears the brand of Naga, the proof of her true heir to House Valhalla. There is no doubt, she is Kurth's child.
I see, thank goodness. At the very least, this means the royal lineage won't go extinct.
That's not all. The princess and Duke Arvis are in a relationship. King Asmir has given his blessing, and a magnificent wedding will soon be held.
Arvis? Really?
All who've seen the happy couple eagerly attest that this beautiful princess and Duke Arvis are perfectly matched together. To say nothing of how happy the couple is said to be. Young love is wonderful, isn't it? Oh, Lord Sigurd, I'm so sorry. I forgot your wife is still...
Deidre. My wife's still gone, yes. It's been over a year since she vanished. She's missed an entire year of watching Sedlif grow up.
I'm so sorry, Lord Sigurd, but cheer up. I know you'll reunite someday.
You're right, I feel it, too. I can't give in to sorrow just yet. I can't give up on finding her.
Pardon me, milady, but the hour is late. We should be on our way soon. Of course. I'll be with you in a moment. Lord Sigurd, one last thing. Beware of Duke Mias of Thove. I regret to say that my brother-in-law has long hungered to claim Saline for himself. It's only a matter of time till he goes so far as to attack you. I wish I could provide you with reinforcements, but...
I know. The capital is under the very same threat from Duke Dakar of Zaxxon. You cannot afford to weaken your own guard. Dakar will pounce upon you given even a hint of weakness. Don't worry about it, Your Highness. There's nothing the Thove army can throw at us that we can't handle.
Of course. I should be more confident in such veteran heroes as yourselves. Oh, I've been talking for so long. I lost track of time. Take care, Lord Sigurd.
You too, Your Highness. Thank you. Mother, aren't you forgetting somebody? You've just chatted for hours and hours with Sigurd, yet you can't even acknowledge your own son?
My son? The one who abandoned me 2 years ago? Going God's nowhere? How do I talk to someone who's clearly not here?
So this is how it's going to be, is it? You're still mad at me then?
Of course I am. Do you have any idea how hard it was without you, and how worried I've been after you? That my own son could be so cold-hearted. I thought I knew you better than this.
Look, I know you're upset, but I had my reasons for all this. But come on, I'm home safely. Surely that counts for something, and you can forgive me? I swear I'll make it up for you, and be the very picture of a good son. Hey, how about I give you a shoulder massage to start?
Oh, what nerve, treating me as if I'm an old crone. Look, Lewin, there are more pressing matters which we need to talk about, and soon. Come to Celeste as soon as possible. Do not forget. Do I make myself clear?
I thought she'd never stop.
Don't be fooled by your mother's outward behavior, my lord. She's actually very happy. Now you've returned. Indeed, she hasn't been anything as cheerful as this since before you left.
Thanks, Manya. Knowing you're at her side is a big relief. Look after her, okay?
Yes, sir. Rest assured, I will protect the queen with my life, on my honor as the captain of the Celestian Pegasus Knights.
Thanks. Oh, one more thing. Are you gonna leave Aaron here with Sigurd?
I am. My lord, I'd like you to keep my sister at your side. She... Manya. Oh, eavesdropping, were you, Aaron? You were about to tell him too much, so... my apologies, Aaron. There are things he shouldn't know just yet, of course. Aaron, I'll be leaving with Queen Rana and returning to Celeste Castle shortly. You'll stay here and keep an eye on Prince Lewin. Best of luck. Thank you, Manya.
And away they go. Sigurd, we'll now be taking our leave. It's high time we return to Leonster. Rest assured, we'll be back. This time, leading the full military might of Leonster to your aid. May that day come soon, my friend.
I'm going with Quan, Sigurd. Don't worry, though. We'll be back before you know it. Take care of yourself.
By your leave, sir. I'll be departing with my lord. Thank you for all you've done for us. Don't give up, sir. One day I know the charges against you will be cleared and your good name restored. I know you can do this. Thank you. You've got quite the journey back to Leonster ahead of you. I wish I could do more to help you on your way. May your journey be a safe one. Quan, Ethlin, and Finn are gone permanently from your party. Unfortunately, they do say that they return, but this is not true in the effect of you being able to use said units. Thove Castle is up to no good.
Dethorba, is the army ready to deploy yet?
Yes, sir. Bishop Koval's Wind Mage unit has infiltrated the forest near Selene. They await your command, sir.
Very well. Relay my orders to Koval. Move in on Selene. Dethorba, I trust your Pegasus Corps are ready. Already briefed on your mission?
Yes, sir. Our task is clear. My squadron is to raid the enemy from above, disrupting their tactics.
Good. Now get to work. Granvale will owe us a handsome reward for bringing them the heads of their infamous traitors.
So Pegasus Knights and Wind Mages. And the typical Armor Knights, as usual. Sigurd's phase. I would continue this episode, but long has it been. The time is up. I want to thank you for joining me. If you like my content, please upvote and follow, or like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below, and while you're at it, have a great and glorious day gaming.